Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's story time. I've got a rather special one for us today because instead of a story, I'm actually going to be reciting a poem. Some of you might have heard this before, or if you haven't, you will recognize some of the creatures mentioned because this poem was written by Lewis Carroll and mentions of it are made in Alice in Wonderland's Through the Looking Glass. It's a rather fun as well as slightly scary poem because Lewis Carroll made up some words which were very descriptive, and even though they're nonsense words and not necessarily recognized in the English dictionary, people understood what he was trying to say by using them. So he often put two words together to make an entirely new word, or he created a whole new word to make something sound like an action or a particular joint emotion. And what is so cool is that the readers enjoyed the poem so much that some of these nonsense words were subsequently recognized as real English words and put into the English dictionary. So, without further ado, this is The Jabberwocky by Lewis Carroll. And it is a ballad-style poem, meaning that it rhymes and that it tells the story of a hero in the form of a boy, and he slays a Jabberwock because the local king sends him on a quest to find this Jabberwock that is causing havoc in the kingdom and is a rather scary creature. So, let's begin. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the momraths outgrabe. Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that snatch. Beware the Jubjub bird, and shun the frumious Bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand. Long time the manxome foe he sought. So rested he by the tumtum tree, and stood a while in thought. And, as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock, with eyes of flame, came whiffling through the tulgey wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through the blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went galumphing back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. Oh, frabjous day, callooh, callay, he chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the momraths outgrabe. Now, as you can see behind me, I have a rather funny-looking plant. And the reason I decided to film here today is because if you've watched the Alice in Wonderland film, you will see that they illustrated the momrath creatures to look like funny flowers. They were quite furry and colourful, and they stayed on the ground, and so at first sight they looked like flowers, and poor Alice in Wonderland accidentally stood on one, and they got very, very cross, and she realised they were actually creatures. So I thought that would give you some inspiration for some of the artworks that you could create with inspired by this poem. Perhaps also you could create your own Jabberwocky creatures. The Jubjub bird, the frumious Bandersnatch. I'll let you run wild with imagination with that one. But I'll give you a little bit of a hint. The Jabberwocky is a creature that is a hybrid. It's often illustrated as being half snake, half dragon, half eagle bird thing, and it's got a beak and claws and feathered wings and a long snaky neck. So it's a very, very funny and scary looking creature. So I'd love to see the illustrations that you guys do and are inspired by these creatures and maybe the tum tum tree. Finally, another activity is for you to make your own nonsense words, just like Lewis Carroll did. So, for example, if we look at, "And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy." So, beamish, if we look at that word, I often think it's a cross between beam, so smiling broadly because you're proud, and also brilliant because he has slain the Jabberwock, he's been successful. So put those together and it's sort of beamish. Frabjous could be a cross between joyous and fabulous, hence you get frabjous.